Hi, I'm Carrie Caldwell,
I'm AJ Pape.
and we're going to talk to you today about effective coordination, or what most people think of as getting things done.
To kick this off, we just want to take a moment and say, why do we think this topic is important? Why are we passionate about it? And one is that we're at a point in history where employee team member engagement is not optional. For our organizations to be successful, we need everyone in the organization to have a sense of autonomy, being able to shape their work, being a co-designer, and not feeling like they're just working in a big machine. This approach we're going to discuss today really increases engagement.
Uh, it also allows us to really use the collective intelligence that is there in our organizations. And it allows for everyone's insight to be included and taken into account when we're designing and getting our work done. It also reduces miscommunication and waste. So the number of times that we have to go back and do rework, or the number of times that there's a breakdown and misunderstanding about what the work is really about, this model helps us reduce those miscommunications.
And the last thing is it's a kind of best of both worlds. When you get really good at doing the things we're about to describe, you both feel like you're on exactly the right track to take care of your organization's mission, and that there's a little more breathing room. There's a little more space. And so what is this in contrast to? What we're going to describe today in coordination is a contrast to how organizations worked for really thousands of years, where basically you were either in a role where you were telling people what to do or being told what to do. And we like to think that we're modern and different and all our organizations are better than this. And in lots of ways they are. But especially under pressure, it's very easy for people to revert and go, okay, well, if this is what I got told to do, I'm not going to question it or offer another idea. I'm too busy, or the people on my team seem already stressed out. I'll just do what they said. Or conversely, I'm busy, I'm stressed out. I'm just going to tell people what I want and assume there that it's going to be efficient when we know that's not the case.
So the new map that we want to offer really focuses on satisfying people versus just getting stuff done. So this idea that there could be a lot of activity happening, but it isn't either targeted or understood or clear, versus having clear action where we're aligned and we know what we're doing. The map also allows for mutual commitment. So again, in the old model that AJ mentioned, there may be an assumption that it's really up to the person who's asking for it to be done for it to happen. And this model allows us to look at how all parties involved have a mutual commitment and what that looks like. And then it also pays attention to trust and mood. I don't know about you, but when I try to get things done with folks, when the mood is off, that has a huge impact on our effectiveness together. So this model takes that into account as well. And the way that it does this is that we can think of two roles, really, partner A and partner B. And in this model, neither role is about hierarchy or status or title. It really is about the roles that we're playing as we design our work together. So for example, if I go into a restaurant and I sit down and I ask for a cup of coffee, I'm making a request. In that case, I am partner A. And the person who's waiting on me will receive that request. They would be partner B. If the person waiting on me says, by the way, we have a special chocolate cake today, would you like to try it? They're making me an offer, and I can then receive that offer and decide whether or not to accept it. So really the roles here are making and receiving offers and requests from each other. And then in the middle of that is what we call conditions of satisfaction. It can be thought of as the goals or the outcomes. And it's really identifying what by when. So it might be, do you want chocolate cake with syrup on it, or do you want it plain? So what are the conditions of satisfaction? What are the standards that we're using when we're agreeing what needs to be done, and really, like, what does good success look like? So we navigate this map in 4 phases. AJ, will you take us through those?
Yeah, let's do a first pass through these 4 phases, and then in a moment we'll go into more detail. And we say that good coordination begins with aligning on why. why are we about to take action together? Why are we about to do this work? And if we really know that, the work happens much more smoothly, and it's more like the action that Carrie described, really satisfying somebody versus just activity and people going like, oh, that's no good, or we meant something different, or I didn't know you were going to do that. The clarity about why is the foundation for going well through the rest of it. And we think of who might be able to help me with this, or who am I trying to help if I'm making an offer. So we move into the second phase here, which is called co-design. We generate options, we have ideas, and we decide what will those conditions of satisfaction be and what do we need from each other. So that's where we mutually promise to create the conditions of satisfaction. We do the work. This is what's most familiar and sort of compelling. Like people will say like, oh, I don't want to stand around thinking about it. Let's just get it done. And occasionally that may work, but that's a lot of the waste comes from like, let's just get it done. Let's just work. Everybody get busy. So if we have taken care of the top half effectively, the work goes more smoothly, and then we can be complete and take a moment to say, thank you. I'm satisfied. Is there anything we want to learn? Now, of course, there's lots more detail in each of these 4 phases. So Carrie, will you take us to that little next level of detail?
Yeah. So as we dive in further into the first quadrant, we're really looking at here, as AJ mentioned, taking a minute, taking some time to explore what is it that we want, why do we want it, to ask ourselves what's missing, what's possible, to be able to generate and speculate ideas and options here. What are the concerns that need to be taken care of, and who could help, to even think about who might be the right person to support. So once we've done that, we are then making a request or an offer to someone. And that moves us into the second phase of co-design. So again, in the old model, it might be like, oh, I have a request, and the person receiving that either feels like they can't say no, or they don't know what else to say. And this is really opening up that it is a mutual commitment, a mutual agreement, as we spoke about, and that it is a co-design and a back and forth process. So we're looking at what are the most efficient ways of getting it done. What does the person who's going to fulfill on the request or the offer need in order to get it done? And it's really an opportunity to make sure that we're set up well together to be able to then meet the conditions of satisfaction once they are determined.
So that takes us into this performance phase. And again, Carrie and I have heard from clients before when we introduce this, well, we do this all the time, it's really obvious. But if we look at common breakdowns, there's a very common breakdown where we all agree on January 15th, this is what we're going to do and our roles and why. And then I complete the work on February 15th and I go back to Carrie and she goes, oh, you know what? Some things changed and we were really busy. I thought so-and-so was going to tell you. So it's really important in this performance phase to stay very connected with each other, stay coordinated with each other. Is the why still the same? Are the conditions of satisfaction still going to satisfy you or the person that you're trying to satisfy? And if there are problems, to raise those early instead of going like, oh, I'll just cross my fingers and hope we get it together. Phase 3 is partnership, not set it and forget it. If we partner well together there in phase 4, we get to say, what did we learn? Are we both satisfied? What would we do different? And is there any new action we want to kick off? So again, it can seem obvious, but I will tell you, our clients have literally saved millions of dollars from slowing down in this top half. And we say the top half is cause, and then the payoff comes in the effect. Less waste, less rework, fewer surprises. So putting this into action involves the things on this slide. You can all read. I won't read this off. But sometimes people will say, okay, I get it. What do we do? That's what's here. And just to close this out, Carrie, anything you would say to cap off our video today?
Yeah, just again, this can seem like common sense, and often common sense isn't common practice, or we really don't have shared language, shared understanding of these phases to know how we're moving and navigating through this cycle. So having this model is really key to the next level of effective coordination. Thank you.
Thank you.